All right. So this is a guest, and you. I'm going to say this. I'm going to tell you when we met. It was like 20 years ago in Baltimore. I think it was like a horror find weekend or something.
That's right.
And you were there. You had just released a new book, I believe, and you were wandering around the dealer's room, and you were very personable. You left an impact because after 20 years now, I still remember you.
Well, that's nice to hear.
I read your original stuff back in the day, enjoyed you, and then you disappeared,
I did.
and now you're back. And I think
Yeah.
it's funny because I was just at BoucherCon all last week, and there's so many horror people that are transitioning into the thriller stuff now, and we're all still
Yeah.
kind of writing horror,
hmm
smart enough to
Well,
say it's
yeah.
thriller.
I will never give up writing horror, but it made sense for me to kind of switch gears a little bit when you mentioned that I disappeared for 10 years. So after the whole leisure books debacle, fiasco, whatever you want to call it, um, I got lucky and managed to hook up with a production company and did two adaptations of my novels, Dead Souls and Deep into Darkness, both of which appeared on Schiller. So that kept me busy for about 4 or 5 years. And then I kind of was like a little discouraged. I felt like I did everything that I could possibly do as far as writing horror was concerned. So I picked up a guitar and taught myself how to play, watching YouTube videos. Ended up getting into a band and having a blast with that for 6, 7, 8 years, a while. The pandemic hit, the gigs went away, and I'm like, okay, I'm a creative person. I got to be doing something.
Right.
So I started writing again, and I submitted a story to Fear the Future. Was an anthology, and I got in, and I was like, okay, I still got it. Okay, so let's write a novel. And I started a horror novel, wrote about 10,000 words, and it just wasn't feeling it. I saw the TV show You, and I subsequently read Caroline Kepnes's books,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to do something real kooky like this, And 3 years later, Misconnection was born.
And it's great because we've both been in this a long time. So to see so many people that we read, so many people that we hung out with at the bar and all these conventionals, and they're all just gone now. So when
I
I started
know.
seeing you
hmm
pop up, I was like, oh, it was you were for me as a reader. Usually we talk about leisure books and all the stuff you put out previously. It was like that, back from the dead. Here he is jumping back in, and we're doing this, which I thought was great because again, I thought of you when I started putting these trying to put these interviews together because I knew you were back, you were releasing stuff, you were out there and everything, and I'm a big fan.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, yeah. When you say everyone's gone, and I was kind of like I was going through some photos that I found. I found a big stack of photos that I took at World Horror Cons over the years, and Jack Ketchum, Charlie Jacob, Tom Piccirilli, Al Sarantonio, Peter Straub. I mean, picture of Richard Lehman, picture after picture after picture of great writers that were so influential. My friends, J.F. Gonzalez,
Yeah.
friends of mine, are no longer with us, and it was really, really a sad feeling. But I said, well, you know what? Maybe I can carry the torch a little bit, and try to jump back into the game. Like I said, I wanted to do something different than horror, simply because I knew if I just wrote another horror novel, I'd go to a small press. It would sell 100, 200 copies, and I'd be done.
Right.
And I wanted to go for I wanted to start at the top, try big. And so I wrote this novel that I still truly believe in. And I spent a year submitting it to literary agencies, and over 100 of them. I still got the list, and half of them never got back to me, and the other half said no. Thankfully, I had Crossroad Press publishing all of my leisure books in ebook and audiobook. They
Right.
had just at the time just started a paperback line where they started working with Amazon and their KDP program. And I sent it to them, and he's a week later. David got back to me and said, "Yeah, we want to publish this. This is a good book." And I said, "I know it's a good book," and it's since then, just through word of mouth, has sold about 3,000 copies.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, so I'm working on a sequel right now, and I'm hoping that'll, keep that snowball rolling, so to speak.
So you've been out of the game for a while. I mean,
Mhm.
was it a shock when you walked back in and you realized how much has changed?
Yes. I didn't know who any of the horror writers were. I mean, Brian Keene was still there, and and you were still around, and there was, maybe a handful of other people that I recognized names that I saw was still publishing. Some, guys like Tim Levin went on to bigger and better things, Sarah Pinborough. But Sarah, she's a thriller writer now,
Yeah,
so she was also a little inspirational to me. I said, well, if Sarah can do it, maybe I can too.
yeah,
But yeah, well, it took me a while, a couple of years of getting back into social media and understanding who the big writers are today, who I should be reading, and as far as the horror genre is concerned. Now, with my daughter being a horror artist, we've teamed up. She's done four book covers for me,
oh wow,
and she's selling her. We've teamed up, and now we do horror cons together.
oh, that's really cool.
I've met, Aaron Beauregard and Christopher Triana and a bunch of other horror writers at these conventions. And
Yeah, if you've met Beauregard, you've met his little sidekick, Daniel Volpe.
yeah, he what a nice guy he is. He came to our booth and he spent like $100 on my daughter's art and some of my books. I'm like, you don't have to do this. I'm happy to give them to you. He insisted on paying. So what a great guy. Really, really nice guy.
Oh, that's great. So are you looking at it the same kind of thing? Okay, I gotta get out there and promote. I gotta get my name back out there and all that. Do you feel like, for somebody like me who automatically knew your name, I mean, but
Mhm.
do you feel like, because we've had such a huge turnover, do you feel like you're starting from ground zero, or do you still feel like you have that cachet of, you know,
A little of both. As far as the social aspect, yeah, ground zero. I don't know who anybody is really in the horror community. I mean, I've met just who I've met at the regular cons, but I haven't gone to any writer related events like World Horror Con used to be, Author Con. I haven't gone to any of those. Um, I mean, I'm going to be 60 years old, and I just don't want to do a lot of that anymore. I love the conventions, and I do them because I want to get my daughter out there.
yeah,
Um, but I also at the same time discovered TikTok, and TikTok has opened up a whole world for me. And I think because of TikTok, that's 90% of the volume of books I've sold.
no,
And now I have not only Miss Connection that's sold, but I have a TikTok shop with all my books. So Crossroad Press has reprinted all my books. They've done new short story collections for me. So I have a total of 12 books that are available in paperback now that are in print. And I have a TikTok shop, and I get orders almost every day.
uh,
Uh, as long as I'm active on the app, I do live streams. The live streams have helped. I mean, after I've had live streams where I've sold 30, 40 books in a 2-hour period. It's like doing a book signing from your home.
right,
Like I'm almost like I really don't have to go to these events now. You
yeah.
know, yeah, I think I enjoy the cons and stuff, but we'll have to wait and see if I can get maybe we'll see what happens when the next book comes out. Then maybe I'll hit up a couple of them. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I feel the same way. Like I went to VoucherCon, at my second VoucherCon, thriller authors, very, very big names, and publishers and agents and everybody else there.
Mhm.
And it's great. And I go to a conference, the NINC conference in Tampa next week. That's it for me. I stopped doing AuthorCon, Scares the Cat. I stopped doing all those because I'm 55.
Mhm.
And this is, I'm not in my 20s anymore and able to jump in the car and drive to Baltimore and go to a convention and
I hear
stuff.
you, brother.
I
Yeah.
100% know where you're coming from, but it's good though that you didn't also come back in and go, okay, well, this is the way, because we both know a couple of older authors who are still fighting this ebook thing and fighting this audiobook thing, and and you got to go to book signings, you got to go to conventions and everything. And I'm like, at our ages, why are we going to 12 conventions every year? You know?
Right. Right. I agree. I don't really have to anymore. Back when I had my leisure books, I felt it was very important for me to get out there, be a part of the community, uh, let people know who I am, hopefully sell some books along the way. It was a different world, I think, back then. We didn't have access to all the tools we have now on the internet. I remember when my first short story collection, Demons, Freaks, and Other Abnormalities, it was the second the second Delirium books ever. So he had just started that press. I
Wow.
was his second book, and I remember seeing it on Amazon and a big smile on my face because Amazon was nothing but a bookseller back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, how things have changed. Yes. So now with the availability of all the different social media platforms that we have, especially TikTok and the book talk community, which is massive, I was really able to take advantage of that, capitalize on it, meet great people, find readers who are now excited for my next book to come out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
it's just a different world. I really don't have to go out there anymore if I don't want.
all from the comfort of your home.
Yes, exactly. And I'm only doing the horror conventions. Well, I work for a horror collectibles company, so you see a lot of things behind you. That's my bread and butter. Trick or Treat Studios is the name of the company. I don't know if you're familiar with them. So that's my full-time gig. I work from home, and then so I've done a lot of horror conventions with them, and saw other writers there, and I said, well, maybe I'll talk to my daughter, and we teamed up, and we've done about 5 or 6 of them now together. And actually, we're doing one next weekend in Connecticut Horror Fest.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, and that's cool too because you get to go out there with your daughter and
exactly
experience all of this.
I probably wouldn't do it if it wasn't for her. I'm doing it for her because I know it's not something she can. She's a little girl. She's not going to drive to Connecticut and do start setting up tables and do this on her own. Right. So I'm doing it for her. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So who are some of the guys when you're doing these? Like we've mentioned Keen and we've mentioned the people that are still around. Are there other guys doing these conventions that you've run into that you're like, I haven't seen you in 20 years?
Not really. Like I said, a lot of the old school guys, they're kind of not around anymore. I remember hanging out a lot with Tim Wagner, but he's doing his own thing. He's still cranking them out. Real happy to see his success. John Everson. John Everson. I ran into him when I was with Trick or Treat Studios, the first show I did with them. I surprised John. I didn't tell him I was going to be there, and I surprised him. And since then, I've seen him there about 3 or 4 times at Horror Hound and Flashback Weekend in Chicago. That was really cool. But I've met mostly new writers, like Adam Caesar. I met for the first time. His buddy Scott. I can't remember his last name. Scott Cole. Sorry, Scott. Sorry, buddy. So I've run into them. But a lot of just real small press guys that I had never met before. Some of the new writers, Sean McDonough is one of them. Found out he lives about 20 minutes from me, so we became fast friends. So a lot of guys like that, just newer writers that are self-publishing or working with real small presses.
And I guess such a massive turnover of small presses as well. When you come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got a row on my bookshelf behind me about that yay big of all those little small press zines that were really popular in the 90s. Remember Janet Fox's Scavenger newsletter?
Yeah. I you know what? Every time me and Brian Keene get together, we bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
What was the Gia Queen? The other one?
Katie Pacek. Yeah.
Those were that was our bread and butter in the 90s. I mean, those zines.
I used to wait by the mailbox for Scavenger's newsletter to come by so I can find out where I can send my short stories to.
Yeah. No, those were great.
Yeah, it was a good. It was fun. That's all we had, and we loved it.
Yeah, yeah. There was no internet. There was nothing. There was
Yeah.
literally for the kids at home. We literally had to print out our stories and put them
Mhm.
in an envelope and send it to these people and put it.
Oh, wait! You forgot you had to include the self-addressed stamped envelope for the reply. Yeah,
And then you hoped they send it back in the envelope, and they didn't keep your
yeah,
envelope because then you were out 25 cents or whatever a stamp was at that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, those were great. You know what? The good thing about that is I'm glad all those stories that I wrote back in the '90s are all gone, and no one gets to read those awful stories that I had that I wrote or I had printed.
Yeah, well, you can always do a new short story collection. I mean, that's what I did with Crossroad Press, and I'm going to be doing a third one with them, the third and final one with them early next year. But I've released. They did Dark Ride, which was originally published by Borderlands, the Montleones, and then after that, I did. I had some other ones out, like the old Delirium ones. What I did is I culled my favorite stories from the remaining three that I had, and I put out another collection with like 4 or 5 new short stories that were never published before. That
Oh,
type of thing. Yeah. So yeah, there's always that opportunity. Just put a new collection together, put them back out there again. Obviously re-edit them. I had some that were pretty poorly written. I had to go back and fix them up a little bit.
yeah, the stuff I wrote in my teens and 20s were just got off. I'm glad they're not out there. So you're still a horror fan. So I mean, do you
Oh
see
yeah,
when you're gonna finish that horror novel or start another horror novel?
it's possible. We'll see how the next book in my series does, my thriller series. It is a continuation of the first book. That's the number one question I get right now is when is the next book coming? Please, when is it coming? So I have a lot of people waiting for that. So we'll see how that does. I kind of have an idea for a third, so I might end up doing another thriller. As far as horror, I will certainly write a short story if someone asks me for it. Um, I'm not going to say never, but I think after I maybe get tired of the thrillers, I'll go back to a horror novel again. We'll see.
There you go.
See how I feel at the time. It's a big commitment, like the book I'm working on now. I just turned the 1 year mark, and I'm maybe 75% through it. Because I it's a part time thing for me writing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I work that full time job until 6, and then maybe squeeze in an hour and a half every night, and then maybe 2 or 3 hours on each day on the weekends. And I edit as I go along. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I like to go back and make sure all my facts are straight.
Right.
So I don't want to say I write slow, but the process is a slow one for me. You're talking, it's going to be 18 months before I finish this next book.
Right. You know what, though? You have your own process of doing things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all it is. All right, I got a couple last questions for you.
Yeah.
So, who are some of the two or three, some of the thriller writers that inspired you to write a thriller in the first place?
Well, for Misconnection, it was definitely Caroline Kepnes and her U books. I had read the three. There were three out at the time, and I read all three of them. And big inspiration for me there. But I didn't want to write another U book. I wanted something with lots of twists and turns, keep readers guessing. So some of Harlan Coben, I had seen a few of his Netflix shows, and I devoured over the years, I've read probably about 15 of his books. But I devoured like 3 in a row when I was trying to learn from them. So certainly him. As far as my favorite writers, thriller writers, to me, Greg Iles is the Stephen King of thriller writers. The guy's a beast. I don't know how he does it. It's unfathomable to me that someone can be that good. But yeah, he's the Stephen King of thriller writers. I love Douglas Preston, Preston and Child, the Pendergast series. I've read most of those. I've probably got about 6 or 7 on my TBR. So he's really good too. Michael Connolly, fantastic. Legal thrillers, police procedurals. Those are fantastic. But I'm really lately in Misconnections, a domestic thriller, and I've been reading a lot of domestic thrillers lately. So Frida McFadden books, Ruth Ware, a lot of female authors. It's easy. It's simple writing done well.
Yeah.
There's no way I can other explain it. I mean, the writing is not, it's not twisty. It's not clever. It's not, something that you really, really have to read a sentence, like some of Stephen King. Sometimes I'll read a paragraph and I'll be like, whoa, that was so good. And I'll go back and read it again. You don't do that with these books. These are, books that you read. Another one is I'm reading his book, The House Across from the Lake, Riley Sager.
Yeah.
He's another one, simple writing done really well. And,
Yeah.
and so that's the domestic thrillers right now. That's my jam right now. That's what I'm really into because that's what I'm writing.
Yeah. Now, are there any thriller authors out there that you know of or you're reading that more people should be reading?
I don't understand how Greg Iles isn't a household name.
Yeah.
It's unfathomable to me. I mean, he's the best. The guy's great. By all means, him. I mean, all the big book talk books, everybody knows them already. I'm not really. There's really no one. I mean, Douglas Preston, Harlan Coben, but people know them already.
Right.
There's no one that really. I'm reading all the big names right now, so yeah, there's no really mid-list writers that I think people should be aware of. They probably already are.
You'll get to us.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, it was awesome having you on, and definitely everybody needs to check out not only the new book but all the other ones. Crossword Press is they do a really good job of putting books out. Big fan. There it is, right there.
That's the new one.
Right.
Newest. It's been out over a year now. Hard to believe.
Perfect. All right, and then we're waiting for the next one, right?
Yes, yeah. The other one's the next one is it's a direct continuation. It's called Other People's Homes.
Perfect. All right. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. We'll have to.
All right. Thank you. Great talking to you.
Us old men will run into each other out there somewhere.
All right. Yeah. Have a good one. Thanks, Armand.
Yep.